So here we have a disgraced family GP who stole £1,600 of Botox product from a cosmetic clinic has been allowed back to work. So we've got a doctor that's a thief that nicks product from where they work and where they are based, but we're allowing them back to work. So what other drugs have they stolen? Because people say, oh well, that's okay, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. She was caught stealing. So it's not the first time that she's done it. As I said, multiple times she was caught stealing Botox products. What other products has she stolen and sold? This is the thing. We let people back because, oh well, she's a GP and we need GPs. There's lots of GPs out there that are complaining that they can't get a job in the NHS because the NHS would rather hire from abroad because it is cheaper. This is the problem with our system. We are not hiring for the best people nowadays. We are hiring for the cheapest. More people in the UK. Why can't we do it that doctors that go train as doctors in the UK, and we are subsidising because we give them grants and all that. If they do 10 or 15 years in the NHS, or let's say 20 years, 20 years like the army, if they do 20 years in the NHS, their education is free. We wipe the debt. Because over that 20 years, they would have actually cost us less than training and preparing people from other countries. But we can't do things like that because the governments don't really care about the people. And this is our system that we are in. We would rather let thieves like this back into our system because they've already passed the tests, rather than pay people and support people to be better doctors and get better doctors. Because I guarantee you, a doctor that knows that they are going to be financially clear in 20 years' time is going to work and stay in the system for that 20 years rather than steal and walk away. It seems like you can create boundaries for the system. We don't have that in the UK. We seem to create more problems than we can solve. And yes, people are going to say, well, it was £1,600 worth of Botox and she thought she deserved it because she is a GP. You don't deserve anything. When you go into a job, you agree to a contract, stick to that contract every year or 2 years or whenever the contract is up, or yearly. You renegotiate. Yes, I want a pay rise. They say, no, I'm not going to give you a pay rise. Move on to a different job. Don't stay with the same sucky company if they're not paying you. I used to change jobs yearly or 2 yearly because I was not getting paid enough, or they would try and muck around my money. I'm doing the job you asked me to do. I'm here on time. I leave later, sometimes get here earlier if you need me. But you do not play with our money. That is the rule. And people get upset by that, and I don't understand why. They say, oh, well, you've got no loyalty to that company. That company's got no loyalty to you. If that company had loyalty to you, you wouldn't be leaving. If that company every year was sticking to their 2 to 3% pay rise every year to support you, you wouldn't be leaving unless you got a much better job. If that company was treating you with respect and as a good employee, you wouldn't want to leave every 2, 3 years because they'd say, right, here's your pay rise on this date, this is when you're going to get it. And I had some like that and I stayed with them. But sometimes people just want to screw you over. And a lot of companies today want to screw you over. Just had it with a friend of mine. His kid. Company wouldn't pay him. They haven't paid him. We're supposed to pay him weekly. And said, oh, we can't pay you. We're going to pay you now monthly. So he worked the month, and then they went, oh, we ain't paying you. Funny, ain't it? And he's like, no, I want my money. And we had to go down there and sort it out. We got the money. But the bloke thought he could take the piss because it was a young boy. And this is the problem that we're having in the UK. Because they know the law system's not with the employee. Even though they keep telling you all these rules. Yeah, you can take them to tribunal. Do you know how much that costs? It is not cheap to go to a tribunal. Most people would rather not go to a tribunal. I know people who have just walked away from wages because the wages are far less than it's going to cost for the tribunal. And it will take, as they said, it will take a year or two. And then you've got to go through step by step. So, people like this that are GPs and just stealing and getting away with it because they are a GP pisses me off. I know I went on a rant, but that's what this channel's about. I rant. I say what I think and I add other things into it. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, you go and see another channel. Plenty out there. And I wish a good day to you.